I don't trust white people. I don't trust white people for a multitude of reasons, but one of the main reasons is they're unpredictable. Like, I think about all the times where I really considered white people my friends, and then when we got in a small argument, they released all the racism they hid throughout our whole friendship. Scary. And then I think about the fact that I become mutuals with people, give them the opportunity to come clean about any problematic past. They say nothing, and then they get exposed for being racist. And it's never like some low-key, like I used to say the N-word in songs. No, it's like N-word hard R against black people. Like tell me why white people are normalizing racist past. Also, I think about the fact that white people have continuously, when given the opportunity, oppressed multiple marginalized communities. And I think about the fact how easy it is for them to do it again. Like, if they really wanted to, they would bring slavery back. They kind of already did with the criminal justice system. Plus the rate of hate crimes. I will legit always be scared of white people until they're the minority, which I hope will be sooner than I think.
A second ago, did you say you fight racism with racism? Yes.
Okay, first off, horrible camera angle. Secondly, you can't fight racism with more racism. And yes, black people can be racist, and this is an example. Imagine if a white person made this same exact video. They lose everything. Is that not privilege and power? And I understand. A lot of black people have PTSD when it comes to this, but you can't judge or not trust a whole race based on the actions of a few. As Gandhi once said, an eye for an eye will leave the whole world blind. Somebody got to be the bigger person in this situation, or we're just going to keep perpetuating the hate and the divide between all of
life. If I learned anything, it's not to trust white people. That's the truth. No, I don't care. Like, that's the truth. No offense. White people will be there for you because it's a trend. But at the end of the day, if it's them or you, they're gonna pick them.
I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again because my last page got deleted. Look, I don't want to see no white people on my timeline. I don't believe y'all. I don't trust y'all. I know y'all don't like us. I know y'all only tolerate us because it's the law. Because if slavery was back into the law, y'all will be the first ones signing up trying to see how y'all would get y'all a slave. I don't trust y'all at all. I don't want to see none of y'all on my timeline. I know some of y'all are not racist, but majority of y'all are. If you were raised and taught in America, the great Jane Elliott said, you're racist. Because the systems in America is racist. Racism is not just calling somebody a name and calling somebody, that's prejudice. Racism is a system. And until you can dismantle it by using your privilege and speaking out and marching on the streets and calling your family members and friends out, I don't want to see none of y'all on my timeline. I appreciate the folks that's speaking out and trying to be woke and trying to awaken your counterparts, but I honestly don't want to see y'all on my timeline. I immediately not interested, because it's been going on too long. Come on now, I'm 36 years old and we still dealing with racism in 2025? Come on now, you still judging people by their skin color? Come on! That is a mental illness. Something is seriously wrong with your community where you are judging a whole other community based on the way that they look, based on the way that God created them to be. But you call yourself a Christian nation, but you're judging people the way that God made them? Something's not right. Something's not right. And I'm concerned. And I don't want any involvement. I don't want to see you all on my timeline. I don't want to be gaslit anymore. We know what's going on. You know what's going on. And we need you to speak up. Call these people out. I'm tired of seeing these videos on my timeline where we're being harassed and traumatized by your people. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
Here's another reason why I struggle to trust white people. I was at Home Depot today and, I had an associate glazing the fuck out of me like they do. It happens to us all the time. So I took the opportunity of her proximity to just ask her for help because I didn't know where everything was. And she looks at me and she goes, well, why are you buying all this stuff? It's the landlord's responsibility to fix things in a rental. Ma'am, what did you say? And because I know that some of you are going to attempt to explain to me what she really meant, here's my question for you. Why didn't she first assume that I might be the landlord? Do you know what I'm saying? Why is her first assumption that I am the renter? Do you know what I mean? And I was so pissed off. But I don't have the privilege of being pissed off. I did have the satisfaction of saying, well, I'm a homeowner, so there's only one person who's going to be able to do it, and watching her shrivel up. But, I I just paid for my shit and I walked out. And it's these little microaggressions, right, that build up over time where you can't quite prove the racism because other white people are going to attempt to gaslight you and explain it away. But it is racism. And that is why I take it on a case-by-case basis. And I don't want to hear y'all say I'm sorry and that sucks and I apologize on behalf of white people. I don't care. I'm just letting you know that, once again, this is an example of why I think the way I think.
Never trust a white man from South Africa.
All right. I feel compelled to talk about South Africa.
Well, I think a year and a half ago, I said the first time, and I've repeated it since, never trust a white man from South Africa. Musk and Phil, those guys, they're now bringing their apartheid ways to America.
I feel as though, for instance, I say this all the time, we pay tribute to Jackie Robinson. But right. I feel like a lot of Americans just give lip service to that. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And so now it's like they don't have to do it anymore. So we used to give lip service to being against apartheid in South Africa. Now we don't have to do it anymore.
Right.
That's what Donnie's like saying, like the white people in South Africa are the victims.
So can you work with a white person? Because before you said, if I see,
yes,
like
I can. I don't trust them though. Of course I can work with them. I just don't trust them. I trust you more than any white man on this planet.
Yeah.
I trust you more than any white man on this planet.
Yeah.
And I'm never gonna trust nobody but black people.
Gotcha.
Black people are perfect, man.
Yeah.
Why you laughing?
Come on, smart. Don't do that.
Why you
now
laughing?
You see what you doing?
I'm asking you.
I know what you doing.
What am I doing?
Point out every little thing. Why you laughing?
Because body language. I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh.
Listen, I gotta tell you because we've been taught. I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro.
Yeah.
We've been taught. You know what I call white people? I call them recessives, right?
Yeah.
We are genetically superior than any other race on this planet. This is a fact. Black people are genetically superior.
Yeah.
Period. But they make it seem like we are inferior.
Yeah.
We are the majority, but they make it seem like we're the minority. He's the minority. You're the majority.
Yeah.
So when I tell you black people are perfect,
yeah,
that's not a joke.
Most white women are not our friends. Like if you're a black woman, most white women are not our friends. Okay? When they do connect with us, it's often from a place of hierarchy, guilt, or pedestalization, rarely ever in solidarity, right? When they do connect with us, it's just to reinforce power, right? It's not from a space of partnership, and it's been this way since the plantation, right? Since slavery days, it's been this way. I want you to watch this video.
For the second time in 3 weeks, a black man who I am a colleague to has sent me a joke about how soft and nurturing and coddling white women are and how mean and harsh black women are in relationships. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're a white woman, don't participate in that. It's not funny. They're testing to see what you're going to do, what you're going to say. It is absolutely disgusting that they even think that it's okay to send me that. And it's offensive to me that they believe I'm going to laugh at the expense of black women. There's nothing funny about it. There are plenty of things that we can joke about, plenty of people that we can poke fun of. The last people who need to be the center of a joke are black women. And additionally, this is a pattern I've seen over years of black men married to black women who form a friendship with white women, myself, and then start finding a way to put black women down to get into the good graces of me. And that tells me everything I need to know about you as a man, you as a husband, you as your character, and not someone I want to be around, because I work very hard to be a safe space, to know better, do better, and the last thing I'm going to do is get involved in your fury.
So their power has always been connected to our dehumanization. So even today, when they try to stand with us, it's from a place of being our sympathizers or our saviors, rarely from just seeing us as equals. So their version of connecting with us and standing with us is being like us being someone that they can pity, them being someone who they can be superior towards, them centering themselves as like the moral one. Are y'all tracking that? While we continue to be positioned as like the one who's struggling, as like the struggle or whatever. And why do I say this? Her response is technically correct, right? It's the morally correct one, which is like, oh no, don't put other women down to get close to me. Still centering herself as the moral one. So much so that she can't realize that the true insult is to her. She can't realize that. Right? So it's in the verbiage. She's like, oh, don't put nobody else down to get into good graces with me. They're putting you down and telling you that you're easier prey. Okay? So instead of seeing it as, oh, I prefer white women, it's I prefer less resistance. Okay? But they can't see it that way. She's caught up in performing sisterhood. If you watch that video And you actually took time to slow down and read the examples of the jokes that the black men were making with her about us, okay? What she got from that was, oh no, I'm not gonna help you laugh at black women. I have to be the good one, the morally just one. I stand with them. You're not gonna get to put down another woman. You're not gonna get to. It's like, girl, there's a bigger issue here. The bigger issue is not that he's putting us down. It's that he's putting you down. Yeah, he's putting you down. But because of their hierarchical, their superior mindset, they still see us as the butt of the joke. Their default is to see us as the one who's the struggle in this joke, right? You are the mockery. When black men come to white women and say things like, oh, we really like white women because black women, they're too hard on us, or they're too loud, or they're too this, or they're too that, and they're not soft enough. But you're soft, and you this, and you're peaceful. And whenever that is the rhetoric, white women need to see that they are the butt of that joke. Okay? They're offending you. They're telling you that you're easier to access, that you are the weakest link. That's what they're telling you. But they cannot see that because they think and believe that they're superior to us. Okay? And if you are a white woman who supports my content, do not feel offended by my words, okay? If it doesn't apply to you, then it doesn't apply. I do know that there are women who are not of color who are able to actually stand with us in true solidarity and see themselves in us and not pity us or sympathize with us or whatever the case may be. I'm not saying that they don't exist, right? I'm talking about the majority of white women. That's what I'm talking about, the majority. Don't take it as a reason to feel offended or attacked, but rather take it as a teaching moment to figure out how you're going to connect better in the future, right? Self-reflect with what I'm saying. Don't take offense to what I'm saying. I remember one day there was this post of like I think it was like a Twitter post, and there was like men saying like, oh, they want to get them a white woman because something about like they'll build with you and they don't care as much about money. And the white women were in the comments like, we don't know what the hell you're talking about, but we want your money and we will leave you and we will take the kids, the dog, the house, the car, everything. They were defending themselves. They were like, we are not these weak, meek women that y'all keep on insinuating or keep on pushing the rhetoric that we are. We're not that. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I want to see y'all defend yourselves when they make jokes about you. That's what I want to see, because that joke was not about us. They are talking negatively about you too. They're making jokes about you as well. Defend yourself. Don't sympathize with us. Defend yourself.
Listen, I'm going to be the one to say it, since a lot of people won't come up on this app and be honest, but let me just say, I'm afraid of white people. I'm 1,000% afraid of white people. I'm afraid of white people in high places. I'm afraid of white people with authority. I'm afraid of white people with money. And y'all know why I'm afraid of these white people, okay? Because they're not like any regular white person, okay? They're not the regular white folk. They're the white folk that if they're racist, they can get you and there's nothing you could do about it. They can really get you and there's nothing you could do about it. I'm afraid of these white judges, standing in front of these white judges, y'all. No, I don't care how that make me look, y'all, but I'm afraid of white people, okay? I'm afraid because the levels they take when they're racist is like out of this world. They have no compassion, no empathy. Once they racist, they could take it there. There's nothing you can do.
I had to cut off some of my white friends for a while, and I'm explaining to you why I did that. Right after the Trump won the election, and I started seeing, the first thing that hurt me was I saw a post that someone that I knew and respected and cared for, she posted a picture of her grandbaby wearing a Trump onesie. And I was just floored. Again, I know we live in a democracy and people have the right. That's the beauty of a democracy, that you can vote however you want. But it shook me to my core because we all know that his core values and his supporters, the large majority, are racist and xenophobic, homophobic, and all those other things. And it really jolted me. And then it led me on a search on Facebook of all my friends and associates who are white. And I wanted to see their response to Trump's win. And a very large majority, to my surprise, voted for Trump. And it devastated me to the point where I didn't even question. I didn't even want to call them. I just block, delete, block, block, block. So to this day, I have not picked up the phone and particularly called this one person. And I know she has a good heart, and I know she herself didn't vote for Trump. but I know that her children did. And that still stung me, right? Also, knowing the fact that she lost someone very close to her, and I lost my mom very close in time, right? So we both are grieving. So for me, when I'm grieving, I pull away from people because I just need that time. And so part of me not reaching out was because of the Trump, but also a part of me was just my own grief. And I didn't have the strength to be strong for her when I was being weak for myself. But I did text her, and I never got a response back, right? And I know it hurt her because I know I meant a lot to her. And so I want to explain to her why I pulled back as far as with the race thing. I did explain to her why I pulled back because of my grief. You understand? But I said all that to say this. Sometimes you have to pull back and just evaluate the belief systems of those people around you. And again, we don't always have to agree on every political and geopolitical topic. But you can't be down with no racist and want him to lead when you're white and I'm black or whatever. Hell, even if you're black on black, if I know you voted for Trump, I cut you off. And I'm sorry. That's just where I was at. You understand? And so give me your opinion. Do you think I moved too quickly? I don't think so. I have peace about it. I know I was crushed when I saw that woman's grandbaby wearing Trump 2024, 2025. But, at the end of the day, part of me knew she was a Trumper. All right. Love you. Bye.
It is completely okay for black people to say that they don't trust white people. And before someone comes in my comments or says to me, this is reverse racism or why are you being racist? Black people have the statistics and history and experience to know not to trust white people. It's literally there. And so funny, and it's funny enough that this is what conservatives try to reverse. They try to use history and statistics, but the only problem with that is that one, the statistics are taken out of context, and two, the history is misconstrued. It's like Charlie Kirk being like, yes, 52% of crimes are committed by black people, and black people committed those crimes, during slavery and subjugation. Like, yes, both of those facts are true, but not only did you misconstrue the history you just stated on slavery, but you also took the statistic that you just stated out of context. And this is what a lot of conservative fascist people will try to convince me. They'll try to use statistics and history that is misconstrued and, and statistics that are taken out of context to try and convince me that, oh my gosh, this is what black people do. But the thing about black people is that they literally cannibalized y'all. They used your skin as furniture. They used your babies as alligator bait. They massively raped and murdered religion into you. I genuinely, I think there's more than enough reasoning for black people, especially black South Africans, to be like, I don't trust white people. It's probably being like, every time someone says, I don't want to vote for the DA, and if it's based on some sort of conception that the DA will bring back apartheid, they wouldn't be wrong. As much as you can say it's racist to assume something based on someone's race, even when we do look into the DA, and into its values and morals, they would bring back apartheid 2.0. They would. They are refusing to call what's happening in Israel a genocide. That's by Helen Keller. Maybe they try to take away the Employment Equity Act. But they tried to isolate Western Cape and make it into its own country. And what population is mainly in Western Cape? Rich white folk. Oh. You have foreigners buying the land. It's easy for a foreigner to go to Cape Town than for someone who has been born and raised in South Africa. Make that make sense. And what I'm trying to say by this video is that it is completely rational for black South Africans to say, maybe I don't trust white people. It is completely rational for people to say that. I'm going to continue this in a part 2.
When a black person wants a mixed baby, it's one of 3 reasons. The first is so that the child grows up with a closer proximity bias to whiteness. The parent thinks that the child will have an easier life because they're mixed with white. Reason number 2 is because they have a deep self-hatred and do not like their own features, so they want to change them by mixing with a white person. And number 3 is simply because they're in love with a white person. Now, there are 3 reasons why white people want to have mixed babies. Number 1 is because they think mixed babies are cute. Number 2 is that they have a deep self-hatred within themselves, feeling insecure towards black people. They think that if they mix with a black person, then that child will ultimately be a reflection of them in black form. This is why mixed kids are normally not treated the best by their white moms. And number 3 is because they've fallen in love with a black person.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you are new here, thanks for stopping by. Today we are diving into a conversation that is getting a lot of people talking. In this video, you will hear some black Americans openly explain why many of them say they've lost trust in white Americans. These are not just random opinions. They are personal stories shaped by real-life experience, and that is what makes this conversation so powerful. One thing that stood out to me is that trust doesn't usually disappear overnight. For many people, it is built or broken over time through repeated experience, whether it is discrimination, unequal treatment, or simply feeling unaheard. Those experiences can have a lasting impact on how someone feels others people and institution. At the same time, it is important to remember that these are the perspective of the individual speaking. Their story don't represent every black American or every white American, but they do offer insight into why some people feel the way they do. Conversations like this are often emotional because they touch on race, history, and lived experience. Some viewers will completely understand where these speakers are coming from, while others may see things differently. That's exactly why discussion like this sparks such strong reaction. As always, the goal isn't just to react, it is to understand what is being said and why this conversation continues to resonate with so many people. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment below, and let's keep the conversation respectful. See you in the next one. Bye.